Hey there, it's Sarah, and I'm coming at you with a shorty episode of the No More Wasted Days podcast. And today I'm going to tell you all about my day one, what it looked like from start to finish. And I'm even going to do a little bit of a lead up to what brought me to making this decision to even have a day one that became this journey that I'm on now. If you didn't know, I'm a little over 6 years alcohol free. I quit drinking on May 13th, 2019. So I'm going to take you all the way back to that day. And to do this, I had to really think about what happened on that day and what was it like. And I thought, I'm not really going to remember, but you know what? I did, because it was such a standout day for me. It was a day where everything changed for me, and I wasn't expecting it to, and you'll hear some of that in my story. And I'm really excited to share this story with you, but before I dive all the way into this episode, I wanted to remind you that enrollment to the Push to 100 is officially open. If you didn't know, this is my signature 100-day alcohol-free challenge where you'll get daily support, live coaching, and a community walking the path with you. If you're ready to start your alcohol-free journey and you know you don't want to do it on your own, then head to the link in the show notes and you can apply today. I'm only taking 30 people in at the basic membership level, and right now as I'm recording, I still have 28 spots available, and I'm only taking in 10 people on the premium level, and right now I actually only have 2 more of those spots available. So if you're thinking about it, now is the time to go and apply so you can start this Push to 100 journey with me. It starts on September 12th and enrollment will close on midnight on September 11th. So be sure to apply today so you can grab one of the spots. Now let's get back to the episode where I'm going to tell you all about my day one. Now, just a little behind the scenes for you. I usually have pretty detailed notes before I do these episodes, but today I didn't really do a lot of notes. I did a bare minimum so I could really talk from the heart. But what I want to talk about first is just kind of what the week looked like before I quit drinking. It was just a regular week, but I will tell you, it was in May, so I was getting towards the end of my school year. At the time, I was a music teacher in the public schools, and when I was getting close to summer, that's when what I called Summer Sarah was really rearing up. Like, she was ready to roll. That meant lots of drinking, lots of partying, and it had already been showing up a lot. We had gone on a cruise in March. And if you follow me on social media, I've talked about the cruise a lot. Ryan and I will often say that that cruise was our rock bottom, not because it was a bad trip, because it was a great trip. We got to go just him and I alone, and it was what they called a success club trip for Beachbody coaches. And I had earned it because at the time I was a Beachbody coach and we were going on this cruise, and it was mostly all expenses paid except for the drink package. And I was sure to buy both Ryan and I a drink package. And we decided we were going to make our money back on that drink package. Like, we were going to show that cruise ship what's what. And we drank from morning till night. And I know I said I'm only going to take you a week back, but I'm telling you this because this mentality came back with us. So this was at the very end of March, and then we came back and it's April. I remember Ryan saying a few times, like, I think I need to take a break from drinking. I think I need to slow down. And I remember telling him, no, I think we just need to go all in. So I think it's pretty safe to say I really had no intentions of quitting drinking, but in the back of my head, in my heart, there was an inner knowing. There was this little voice saying, you need to change, but I would just push that voice down because I was like, I don't want to hear that. That sounds like a path that I am not ready to walk on yet. So I just kept on going with my drinking habits. Obviously, I was going to work, so I wasn't drinking from morning till sundown like I did on the cruise. But I definitely had that mentality that, like, I'm drinking party Sarah. This is what I do. This is who I am. This is my personality. So that was really living in me. And just a few things. Ryan and I both have birthdays in April. So that meant we had a reason to celebrate at the very beginning of April for Ryan's birthday and then mid-April for my birthday. And it was a milestone birthday. I turned 40 on April 16th, 2019, and my friends threw me a giant house party. It was so fun. and I drank a lot. There's pictures of me drinking with a giant champagne glass that they had gotten me, like one of those crazy big ones that you get at like Michael's at craft stores, right? And you could put a whole bottle of champagne in it. So there was definitely a lot of drinking. So we're just closer and closer to that day one, right? And it just kind of kept going, but I was getting tired. I know that. I remember after my 40th birthday, hanging out with some of my friends that weren't big drinkers like I was, hanging out with my sister, hanging out with a best friend from college who had actually come up for the party. And I remember feeling like that best friend from college was kind of like looking at me. Like I remember saying, oh, I got to get a mimosa today. Like, I got to have that. That's the only way I'm going to recover this morning. And then we went out for lunch and I was like, the only way to get through today is to continue to drink. And I remember her giving me a side eye. Now, I don't know if she actually gave me the side eye. She's really not a judgmental person, but I was starting to feel that all eyes on me. People are catching on. I'm drinking a lot and maybe this isn't normal. So even if people weren't questioning it, I was feeling like possibly they were, right? And then I remember talking to that friend and kind of saying, I think I need to shift some of my friend circle. I think I feel like maybe I don't have as much in common with some of the friends that I have. Like I have these really big goals in life that I want to go for. At the time, I knew that I wanted to quit my teaching job. I was like, I got to make a change. I don't want to keep teaching forever. I have to make a shift. Well, guess what? A lot of my really good friends were really big drinkers. And it was like that inner knowing was saying, it's time for you to make a shift. It's time for you to make a change. But I couldn't figure out what it was yet. Okay. So then fast forward, we keep going through the month. Ryan and I keep drinking and it's just escalating. Like it's really just becoming more and more and more. And then one day I got home from work, and at the time I only worked on Mondays and Tuesdays. I was a part-time elementary music teacher. The rest of the time I devoted to my Beachbody business. And I got home from work and it's May. It was nice weather. Ryan was sitting outside on our front porch, drinking a beer and listening to an audiobook. And when I parked the car and got out, and I had all my teacher bags hanging on me. If you're a teacher, you know, right? I got my lunch bag, my computer bag, all the stuff. And he just stops me and he says, hey, I think maybe I want to quit drinking. And I'm like, what? Like it is Tuesday, which is my Friday. It's a nice day. I'm ready to drink. And I'm also looking at him and he's drinking a beer. I'm like, what? I'm so confused at this moment. And he's like, well, I'm listening to this book. And the author said, don't even worry about changing your drinking habits while you're reading the book. And the book, if you're curious, was This Naked Mind by Annie Grace. So Ryan continues to talk about the book. I go grab a beer. I sit down. We're talking about this book and what she's talking about. And he's like, I really think you should listen. And I'm like, I don't know, right? And he's continuing to talk about this. And let me tell you one other thing. We are getting close to Mother's Day weekend. And Mother's Day weekend when I was a drinker was a bender. Like that was my day to do whatever I wanted to. So I was going to drink all day. I was going to smoke weed if I wanted to. That was my day. And Ryan's telling me, I think I want to quit drinking. And I'm like, what the heck does this mean? So we talk about it a little bit, right? And we kind of go through the rest of our week and he continues saying, like, I think I'm going to do this. There's a little bit of lead up time and we're planning a kayaking trip, a kayaking day trip for Mother's Day. And I'm asking him like, well, are we packing beer for the cooler for kayaking? Because that was pretty normal for us. And he's like, I don't need any, but if you want to pack some, you can. And it was really putting me in an awkward place. Like I was just kind of like, oh, I don't know. Because if you've been listening, you know that I was having that inner knowing, right? I was having that little inner voice talk to me and saying, you need a change. And now my husband's saying, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do this big change, this thing that he had been talking about and I had not been listening to. Okay. And I was kind of like, maybe I do need a change. And I'm like, all right, what's this book? So I download this book and he's all done listening to it by this time. And he's like, I know I'm going to take a break. I don't know how long it's going to be. Right. But he's like, I know it's going to be pretty substantial. And I know if I go back to drinking, it's going to be different. And he's like, just listen to the book. All right. I'm still not listening to the book. We're going into the weekend. I've got the book downloaded. We're off to do our day on the lake. I don't pack any drinks. And then when we get home, I have bought 2 huge bottles of liquor because, again, Ryan was going through this and I was kind of ignoring it. So I've bought a huge bottle of gin, a huge bottle of vodka, and I'm like, let's make gin and tonics when we get home. And Ryan is still like, I don't really know if I want to do this because he's already read the book, okay? And I'm like, what a drag. I can't believe this guy. And he's like, but hey, it's your Mother's Day. So I have 2 gin and tonics. Ryan has 1. I did not go on a bender on my last day as a drinker. And I think it's because my life had been a bender for like a year, for being honest. But really those last 2 months leading up, it was really heavy drinking. So we get through Mother's Day. It's my first Mother's Day where really I drink pretty responsibly for that day. And I'm even kind of thinking like, look at me, I can drink responsibly. I'm going to have absolutely no problem doing this not drinking thing. And also in the back of my head, because Ryan's been talking about it, I've been marinating with this. I'm telling myself, I'll do this for like 30 days. I'm going to try this out for 30 days, but I'm also thinking I probably won't make it that long. Like it'll probably make it 7 days. But as we're leading up and getting more and more serious, I'm starting to be like, you're really questioning this. You're really having so much inner turmoil over this. Why don't you do 30 days? You've already been having these thoughts in your head, like maybe you drink too much, maybe you have a drinking problem, you feel like people are watching you and knowing. So why don't you go all in on 30 days? And I'm like, okay, I'll do it. And then I tell myself, like, if I can't quit drinking for 30 days, then it's my sign. I have a drinking problem, okay? So if I can't do 30 days, I make a deal that I'll go to an AA meeting or some sort of support, do therapy, do something. And I did not want to do that. I didn't want to have outside support. I was like, no, 1, I don't have time for it. 2, I don't feel like AA aligns and that must be the only thing you can do if you quit drinking. And I also didn't want to do it because I was like, oh my gosh, if I have to go to AA, it means I have a drinking problem and it means I have to quit drinking forever. And all these things, I wasn't ready for this. Like I was ready to be like, okay, I'll do 30 days. So I was going to work hard to get those 30 days no matter what, because I didn't really want to go to an AA meeting. Like I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do that. So that's our lead up. And then finally, May 13th comes. I wake up. It's a Monday. I'm not hungover after a Mother's Day, which is a new thing for me because that hadn't happened for a while. And I had only had my 2 gin and tonics. So I was already feeling pretty good. I'm feeling like I'm going to be able to do this. This is going to be okay. And I wake up pretty early that morning, like I always did, to do my morning workout. And I'm actually giving myself like enough time to be able to do my workout and all the things. And I open up this journal that I've had forever. And in the journal, you're supposed to write down 5 daily gratitudes and 10 affirmations, 10 dreams that you want to see happen for you in the future. And you're supposed to write them down as if they've already happened. So I write down my 5 daily gratitudes and I am feeling like, look at me. I'm alcohol free. I'm writing down my daily gratitudes. I'm starting this 30-day break. I'm amazing. And then I get to the affirmations and I think, what should I write down as my first one? And I was like, maybe I should write down something about not drinking. I'm doing this 30-day break thing, or maybe I'm going to quit forever. I don't really know. Like there were so many thoughts swirling through my head. And I thought, yeah, I'll write something down about it. So I write down, I do not drink. And it just unleashes so many emotions in me. I write it down and I feel fear. I feel anger. I feel scared. I feel like I know I'm repeating emotions right now, but it was just like so many different emotions. And I start crying and I'm just like, oh my gosh, am I going to be able to do this? I kind of suck it up really quick. I write down my other affirmations and then I get to my workout and I'm like, okay, we had that little moment. We're doing good. Let's keep going. I do my workout. I get ready for work. I get my kids off to school. Life is going pretty good. Like, I'm like, hey, it's day after Mother's Day. I'm already seeing some wins because I drank so responsibly the day before. Look at me. Then on the way to work, I pop in This Naked Mind. I start listening. And again, waterworks. It's just like Annie Grace is talking to me. She is telling her story and it's my story. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not alone. This sounds exactly like my drinking. I'm not alone and I'm curious. And this woman that I don't know is telling me, you can listen to this whole book. You don't have to change a thing. You can just listen to this and you can take in the information. And I'm like, okay, I will do this. So the whole ride, and it's a 30-minute drive for me to work at the time, I listened to the first 30 minutes of the book, and I've got it playing on probably 1.3 speed. So, that was a pretty good chunk of the book. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I actually couldn't wait for work to get over so I could listen to it. So then I go through my teaching day. It's a Monday where I'm not feeling like complete crap because I don't have a total hangover from drinking the whole weekend. And I'm feeling very kind of high and mighty. Like, I got this. I'm listening to this book about quitting drinking. I'm feeling like I got a little secret. I'm doing this thing. I'm not drinking. I'm feeling more and more confident about it as just the day goes by. Just in that day one, morning of day one, I felt like this feels a little different. I think this might be a change for me. I get through the day. I get done with my work day and I pop in the book again on the drive home, and I still just can't get enough. I'm like, everything she is saying is just like, yes, this is my story. I totally relate with this. I totally understand this. Oh my gosh, I didn't know this fact about alcohol. I didn't know this thing about drinking. I always kind of thought everybody who needed to quit drinking was an alcoholic, but somebody's telling me, no, that's not the case. You can choose to quit without taking on that term. And I'm like, my mind is blown. So I get home from work and I'm feeling very confident because I've listened to Quit Lit on the way home. And I have a LaCroix and I put some lime in it. And I put it in a fancy glass and I'm just ready. I'm like, okay, I've got my little non-alcoholic drink. What am I going to do now? And there's a little bit of a lull because I'm like, oh my gosh, it's kind of early. Like, I can't start cooking dinner yet, but I also don't know what to do with myself because I usually would drink. Like, I don't know what to do. So I took my dog on a walk so I could listen to more of the book. Like, I had a little bit of my LaCroix, take my dog on a walk, listen to the book, still just like, oh my gosh, can't get enough. And then get back and I'm like, all right, I think I'll do some chores. This is very unlike me. Like, I'm going to do a little laundry after my Monday. And then finally it's time to cook. Now, cooking was a challenge because cooking was when, if I hadn't already started drinking, I was definitely going to start drinking. I was going to pour some wine while I was cooking dinner. And I was like, all right, you got to be ready. So at that point, I had a little LaCroix with lime, and then I decided I'm going to have some kombucha. I've got a fancy drink. I'm going to have that. So I have kombucha while I'm cooking dinner. Maybe Ryan comes out and hangs out with me while I'm cooking dinner and we're talking about not drinking. I can't really remember all those details, but I finally get dinner made. We sit down at the table and I know I've made it through my day one. Like, all of the urges to drink are gone. I made it. I did it. And that was one thing I learned that day. If I could make it till right after dinner, I had made it. I was good. I didn't have to worry. I was like home free at that point. So I had made it through my day one. And then we put the kids to bed, and then Ryan and I made herbal tea, and that became a pretty big ritual for us in our alcohol-free journey. We watched some TV, and then I went to bed and I slept like a baby. Like, I just slept amazing. And then it was kind of wake up, rinse and repeat. I probably finished This Naked Mind in like 3 days, which is really fast for me, even for an audiobook. And after that, I was like, I need more. Like, I need more. So I found a podcast. I think it was probably Annie Grace's podcast, and that led to more podcasts. And I was like, okay, I'm finding more and more about this. I was really excited. This day one was the catapult for me. It was the change. And there were things from this day one, and I want to just keep going and tell you more and be like, and now let me tell you how then it turned into 30 days and it turned into 100 days. And it is how it happened, right? But that day one set me up for success. And I want to set you up for the same success. I want you to take from my story some things that now you can take into your own journey. So if you are listening and you're like, I want to start my alcohol-free journey, like hearing her talk about her day one inspires me, it motivates me. How can I do it now? So what are some things that I did that I think were game changers for me? Number one was gratitudes, doing that journal, the gratitudes and the affirmations, and just changing that mindset, writing down that sentence every single day. I do not drink. I did that for the first 100 days. I never broke that ritual. I did it every single day, first 100 days. And after that, I did it every weekday for my first year of being alcohol-free. It put me into the mindset of abundance. It helped me have a place to celebrate my alcohol-free wins. I could write down gratitudes about having a hangover-free weekend. I could write down gratitudes about I'm grateful for kombucha, things that other people wouldn't understand, but I got it, right? It gave me a little place. So I highly suggest, if you're brand new, start daily gratitudes and then start daily affirmations. Something like I do not drink is so simple and so powerful. I could repeat it when I was feeling like I feel like the urge, I'm feeling like, oh my gosh, I want to drink. I just go, no, you don't drink. Remember? It just changed my mindset. So that was the first thing I did that led me to success. The second thing I did that led me to success, I believe, because this is different for everybody, right? You can't just take what I did and say, well, I'm going to do exactly what she did. You might do parts and things and be like, I don't actually like that. But this is what I think worked for me. The second thing was quit lit. Quit lit is short for quitting drinking literature. Listening to the book, This Naked Mind, was a game changer. And then listening to podcasts like this, getting other people in my ears who had done this before me into my brain helped me stay inspired, and it helped me reprogram my beliefs. It helped me hear their story and be like, if they can do it, I can too. And it would also help me hear their story and go, I want the other side of that story. I'm getting to the other side of that story too. Next, I had an after work plan. Now, it was kind of rough, right? I got home and I was like, what am I going to do with my time? But I didn't sit there and hem and haw about it. Instead, I was like, I want to keep listening to this Quit Lit book. I'm going to take my dog on a walk. I'm going to do a chore so I can keep listening to this Quit Lit book. I was like, I want to finish this book. And I had my AirPods in doing laundry. And then I had the final thing. Non-alcoholic drinks. I had LaCroix ready to go. I had lime slices so I could do a little squeeze of lime to make it fancy. I had kombucha, which was a new thing for me at the time. I was not a kombucha drinker. So I had things to look forward to after work that weren't alcohol. And lastly, I learned my witching hour pretty quick. Now, the witching hour is that time where your brain really starts to talk to you and say, I really want to drink. I really want this to happen right now, right? And I learned mine was from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. That first night, I realized if I could make it past dinner, I was good. I was in the home stretch. I wasn't drinking that day. And I hung on to that a few times during those first 30 days, just get through dinner and you're going to be fine. You're going to get to the other side of this. So I just learned some things about myself that day. I was very exploratory with it. I was very open to it too. And I think that that's really important. Now, the one thing that I wish I had done sooner, that I was very afraid to do, and you heard it in the story, I wish I had found community sooner. If you were listening closely, you know that I was like, I'm going to do this on my own. If I can't do it for 30 days, then I'll find outside help. And otherwise, I'm doing it alone. I learned that connection is essential. Probably after my 30 days is when I found a big Facebook group. I just started searching Quitting Drinking, Annie Grace, This Naked Mind, and I found a huge group, probably 30,000 members. That group helped me so much. I didn't post a lot. I looked forward to sharing that I had made 100 days. I looked forward to sharing that I was 150, but I wasn't somebody that everybody in the group knew. Instead, I was reading their stories and taking it all in. And having that community helped me not have to white knuckle it. It helped me remember that I wasn't alone. And I wish that I would have done this sooner. My ego was so big that I was like, I'm going to do this alone. And I wish that it hadn't have been that way, because community has been one of the biggest gifts of my alcohol-free journey that I was not expecting. This introvert was like, hell no, I don't want people to help me out. I do things on my own. Just wish that I could have sucked it up. Now, I finally did, right? I finally was like, I need support. I need community on this, and I need to lean into my community. But it is the one piece that I wish I would have done sooner. And that is why I talk about things like my Daymakers community or the Push to 100. And I just want to encourage you to look into those options, right? And like I said, there's free options out there. There's AA, there's Smart Recovery. So if my options aren't the right ones for you, then check something out. Now, after listening to this, I really hope you're feeling inspired to take on your day one. I really hope that you hear in my story how exciting my day one was. I look back at my day one with actually a lot of joy. I was not scared. I was scared when I wrote down I do not drink. I was confused, but I was more like, I'm doing this. I'm a challenge person. I'm like, I'm going to take on a 30-day challenge. I'm going to do this. So that mentality really worked for me. If that works for you, then lean into something like that. If you're ready to start your own day one, or maybe get to 21 or day 50, like you're ready to take on your own challenge, then join me for the Push to 100. This program was created so you don't have to do it alone. So when I talk about that, I wish that community would have been a piece for me sooner, this can be your community. We will be a group just ready to go. So remember, the link is in the show notes, or else you can type it into your own search engine. It's nomorewasteddays.co/push-to, the word dash 100. So again, it's nomorewasteddays.co/push-to-100. You can follow that link and you're going to find out all the details about the challenge, including the price, and you can decide if this is a good fit for you and you can apply today. Let's do this together. I would be honored to walk with you through your day one and take you all the way to day 100. I really hope that you enjoyed listening to this episode as much as I enjoyed recording it. It's always hard to come to the microphone without very many notes, but it was really kind of cathartic to go back to that day one and remember where I came from. And now that's led me to over 6 years of being alcohol free. When I was that lady taking a break from alcohol in 2019, I didn't think that this is where I'd land. I really thought I'd make it maybe 7 days, maybe 30 if I was lucky. And then I'd go back to my old drinking, but be better at it. And I'm so happy that I finally did it. And I had the confidence to just walk away from alcohol forever. And I'll be honest with you, I have had that excited feeling from day one all the way to now day 2000 something. But don't feel overwhelmed when I say I'm at 6 years, day 2000. Those are big numbers, right? Just remember, it all started with a day one, and it can start like that just for you. If you enjoyed listening to this episode, be sure to write a review. Reviews are the best way you can support this podcast, and they're totally free for you. And they'll help boost this podcast into the algorithm for more people to find, and more people can be supported on their alcohol-free journey. Thank you so much for listening. I hope to see you in the Push to 100, and I will be in your ear in the next episode.